Brian, I want to ask you a couple things about the left side of your offensive line. Is there anything unique you ask your left side to do in your offense that maybe? I mean, obviously, left tackle people think about protecting the quarterback's blind side, but is there anything else that's unique about what you ask of your guys on the left side?
I don't think so. No, I mean, I just think it's that trust factor QB wise, as far as, like you said, the protecting the backside. But sometimes it's like the right side, you need him to protect the backside as well if the quarterback's eyes are looking to the left side of the field. So no, I wouldn't say it's anything that's really unique.
You're obviously you're going to be missing the experience of Gus and Blake, but with the guys that you're looking at on the left side, are there any upgrades with the package of guys you're looking at over, say, a year ago?
I wouldn't say yet. No, I mean, Blake is a 4-year starter and started a ton of games for us and is on the roster with the Vikings. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's an upgrade yet. I think it has potential. I like the guys that we have at that position, and Josh has done a great job as a young guy. And I like his athleticism, and that's one thing. He may move a little bit better if he gets, we get him out on a screen or get him downfield doing some things, maybe a little bit better than Blake did, but and then we're rotating some different guys there at that left spot. Noose has been in there a little bit, and Jake Levengood. But I like the guys that we have. I think we're young, and I think time will tell, how we'll be this year. There
are there pretty much 3 guys you're looking at on the left side at guard with Noose and Montalban and Jake Levin?
Yeah, Kali. Yeah, and those guys are. I mean, really, those guys are playing some right, on the right side as well. And Corbin Sorensen, I think, is that in the mix there as well. But yeah, any of those 3 guys, and I think Coach Mahalchek's. We're trying to rotate him right now and be making some decisions here probably in the next couple of days.
Brian, during Saturday's scrimmage, who from the receiver group kind of stood out to you?
I thought there were a lot of guys that did some good things. I mean, I think Zariah Beeson obviously caught, the 2 touchdowns, made a nice play on a fade ball down there and continues to impress us. Champ Flemings, I think, was another guy that kind of stood out and made some nice plays versus man coverage where he did a nice job releasing and creating separation at the top of his route. And I think that the details in his game have really, really improved. And I think, our quarterbacks are gaining more confidence in him. Let's see. Those are the 2 off the top of my head.
Right. In regards to the size of the receivers, I mean, it's no secret you guys have a lot of guys from 5'5" to 5'9" and 10 on the roster. How big of an issue is that going into with this group of receivers?
We'd like to be a little bit bigger, but I think that the same time we're faster, more explosive in that group than we've ever been. And so I mean, I think you bring in Zariah Beeson, Josiah Irish has got a little bit more size. Those guys kind of, we don't have like an Isaiah Hodgins with that, 6'3", 6'4" build, but I think whereas we're not necessarily super big out there. Like I said, we're faster, and I feel like we have the opportunities to create some more explosive plays downfield, and I think we're deeper as a group. I feel like there's 6, 7, 8 guys that can rotate in there and do some different things, and we're not always having to just stay with our top three guys. We can rotate guys in and stay fresh.
Is that where a Luke Musgrave becomes important because he's got size and a little bit of speed and you can get downfield?
Yeah, Luke's had a great camp and he did some great things in the scrimmage and made some plays, and I'm excited about him. I think there's a lot of things that we can do. There's a lot of things that we can do with him, and he might have to fill a little bit of that void of Hodge at times if we're looking for a bigger body, potentially to spread out.
How much have you guys worked on just the home run threat with these receivers during camp? Has it been more of an emphasis than years past, or about the same?
I think we're hitting more of them. I wouldn't say we're emphasizing any more than we typically do. Every year we're trying to get the ball down the field. I just think we've got a little bit more juice outside, and we're hitting more of those, creating more separation. When our defense really tries to kind of load it up, and we've hit some big plays over the course of the camp, and we just got some more guys, I guess, in that room that can stretch it. So I guess as the play caller, it makes it a little bit easier to call when you're connecting on more of them.
With Tegan and Luke, obviously they're both really big at kind of athletic targets, but what does one do better than the other? Or what does Tegan do better than Luke, or vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, Tegan's he's further along in the run game. I mean, Tegan's, I think, an elite blocker on the line of scrimmage, and just a big physical guy. And Tegan's improved as far as his route running in his hands, and he's doing quite, it's got a lot of the same stuff that we're asking Luke to do, as far as maybe splitting him out every now and then. And then Luke, I think, just his downfield, his speed, and able to run by some guys, stretch the field vertically, and in his kind of feel for, he's getting better at kind of feeling, soft spots and zone coverages, and kind of understanding where he needs to get. But both those guys, I mean, we stay healthy at that position. I feel really good about. I feel really good about those two guys.
Where is Luca in the blocking game? Is he kind of made a big leap?
He's not. I don't think he's as far along as Tegan is, but I think he's made strides. I think Coach Wozniak could tell you the same thing. We were talking about it the other day, and whereas last year as a young guy, he was kind of a liability a little bit in the run game at times, and we didn't necessarily always want to put him at the point of attack. We've challenged him to do some of that this camp, and he's grown. He's grown there as a blocker, and so we feel pretty comfortable about him as a blocker now.
Does Tristan throw a different kind of ball for receivers to catch than Jake?
I wouldn't. I mean, the ball comes out of his hand maybe a little bit differently. Sometimes Tristan's a little bit more aggressive on some of the shorter throws than maybe Jake. Jake took a little bit more off it, but I don't really think so. I mean, it's a right-handed guy, and both those guys spin it pretty good. So I don't think there's a big difference.
Hey, Josh, I was wondering, what did you learn from being around Blake the last couple of years? Well, it was last year, I guess it'd be.
Learned a lot. He was a really good teacher. He always led by example. I was very thankful to have him to teach me a lot of stuff, all the guys really. But I guess the biggest thing was just work ethic, how to get after it every day, no matter when you're getting hurt or, get some nicks and bruises throughout camp. And he always just taught us, keep going no matter what.
What Jonathan has mentioned before, that you're kind of a natural left tackle. He didn't really explain what that meant. Do you have any idea why you're a better fit as a left tackle than a right tackle?
I don't know. I think a lot of people say I got some athletic ability. That might be a part of it. I'm not sure. I take okay pass sets, I guess. So I don't know.
Do you feel more comfortable on that left side than you do on the right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't think everybody knows, but it's a lot different, between left and right. It's the same, but it's all flip. And when you switch sides and stuff, it's kind of tough. So I think that's also been a part of why I've stayed at left and Brandon Kipper stayed at right, just because it's more, you get used to it, definitely.
So you were taking the majority of your reps in practice last year on the left side?
Yes, sir.
You got a little bit of, I think you got a little bit of action last year. What did you learn from the time you were able to play?
Just keep your composure. It's the same as practice. There's nothing different. Whether you're practicing in front of 10 people or, 100,000 people at a stadium, it's not really a big difference. Just do your job, and that's all you can really do.
How much of a confidence booster was the scrimmage on Saturday for you guys to go? I think you had 3 straight scoring drives to start the scrimmage when you had Tristan in there. Just how nice was it to get a couple of those under your belt?
That felt really good, especially after our scrimmage 2 weeks ago, which didn't quite go as planned. I think it really was a confidence booster for the whole offense, and I think we feel good now going into week 1 of the season.
Did anything feel kind of really different during that second scrimmage than it did during the first, or were you guys just more in sync in general?
More in sync, I'd say, yeah. We had just better chemistry. The energy was up. We were all working off each other. We were all excited, so just that confidence and that energy.
What's it been like in practice? I imagine you're catching a lot of the outside linebackers like Ham and Anjay and whatnot. What's it been like, having to block guys like that, and how's it helped you?
It's a blessing, honestly, because it does nothing but gets us better every day. And like, does a play, he'll get one, we'll get one. It's always kind of like pat on the back, say good job, and then on to the next one. And you're just trying to win every rep. It's good to have that competition at practice. We all appreciate it. We love it.
Hey, Josh, talk a little bit about what it is like playing for Coach Mahalichek and what you've learned from him over the past couple of years.
Coach M was a big reason of why I wanted to come up here. Throughout the whole recruiting process, I could tell he was real genuine, and you can always just tell like how smart he is. When we're in the meeting rooms and everything, he is so football intelligent. He's been around it for so long, and that is so great. And I think it helps a lot of us, because we'll have a question and he's always got an answer, and sometimes that answer is figured out, but that's what we need too. We need to be able to solve these problems on our own, and I think he helps us with that.
Are you more nervous or excited about the opener?
Excited. No, I don't think we have anything to worry about. We're all excited.
I met you personally just because it's probably going to be your first start.
Yeah. Excited.
How much of a factor was that piped in crowd noise during the scrimmage? Did you notice it all that much, or did it seem like a real game environment?
I don't know. That, like we said earlier, my first play in the game was at Oregon last year, and that was pretty loud. So I don't know. I didn't really notice it. I didn't really notice it in that game either. So we'll just have to see.
Champ, is there any with this group of receivers, is there anything particular strength that you guys have overall?
For us personally, I think one of our biggest strengths is just bringing back a lot of guys with game experience. We have a lot of guys who have been in games, they've played in big games, they've made plays, so that's going to be a huge strength for us. Just having guys out there that are comfortable, that know what to expect, and that we can all trust and rely on to go out there and make plays when their number's called upon.
Champ, what do you see as the potential of this group? How good can this group of receivers be?
I think the sky's the limit for this group. I think we got a lot of versatile guys in the room. I think we got a lot of guys who can do a lot of different things. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as the ball is being spread around and as long as we can, keep all of those guys involved, like I said, we got a lot of guys who have played and can play at a high level. So I think as long as we spread the ball around, I think the sky's the limit for our group.
Kolby talked about how most of the guys in this group are able to play multiple positions or play every position. How important do you think that is when you guys have 6-7 guys who are going to be in the mix?
I think that's really important. I think it adds a level of versatility to our offense. I think it's going to help us to be able, like I said, to spread the ball around, to move different guys around, to do different things. And I think we've been really good at, over the last couple of years, developing a group of guys who, for me, when I started out, I was just a gadget guy. So, teams were able to key in on that. And now I think that that's not the case for our group. Like I said, we have a lot of guys who can move different places. So it's going to be able to keep defense, respecting us and playing us honest. And it's going to allow us to open up the game plan and, get some good stuff in.
The one thing that seemed to be missing the last 2 years from the passing game was the consistent home run ball. How do you guys add that to your game? I
think we got a lot of guys with, who can fly. We got a lot of guys with speed, a lot of guys with that one hit, big playability who can hit the home run. Talking about really everybody in our group. You've seen it from everybody. You've seen it from me. You've seen it from Trey. You've seen it from Tyjon, from Kobe. We have a lot of guys who have that ability to hit the home run. And I think, as like I said, as long as we can open up the game plan and we can spread the ball around and we can get some guys out in space and get the ball in our playmakers' hands, I think we always have the opportunity to hit those home run plays and be explosive and be an explosive offense as far as the pass game is concerned.
Hey, Champ, just want to know, how much has the secondary improved over last year?
The secondary has improved a great deal. I don't think that it has so much to do with talent. I think we just got a lot of guys who are getting comfortable with the system, which has been great to see from our defense. They've been doing a great job of, disguising coverages and playing man coverage and, even in zone coverage. You can tell that there's a level of comfortability with everybody in the secondary and that they understand the scheme at a much higher capacity. And because of that, they're able to play faster. They're not thinking as much, and it's really just read and react for them. So that's been great to see. They've improved a great deal.
Kolby, I was wondering, just with this group of receivers, is there any particular strength from this group? I mean, like, are you guys all pretty good at running routes or good at the 50-50 balls? That's what I'm just wondering if there's anything particularly strong about this group of receivers.
Yeah, I think all the receivers have our own unique skill sets. And I think the biggest thing is we all know all the positions on the field. So we're all able to line up in any position, whether it's X, H, Z, Y, or whatever the case is. So we're not just limited to playing in one spot.
Kolby, can you just kind of talk about the depth of the group and just the increased talent maybe from just a couple years ago?
Yep, and I think we got a great group, a lot of depth. Definitely a lot of guys that have had game experience. Got some a lot of guys returning that are coming back, but also some new additions that have made themselves known. And I think Beaver Nation should be excited.
Without Hodgins in the mix anymore, the lack of size is pretty noticeable at receiver. Is that a concern, or is that something you guys feel like that's not really a big deal?
I'm not worried about it. I don't think our group's worried about it either. If you can get open, you can get open.
Are there any guys in that group who maybe play a little bigger than they are, a little taller?
Definitely Champ. I mean, you guys have seen what he's capable of. He's definitely not the biggest guy out there, but he uses his skill set to his advantage, and he's always out there making plays.
Your name has come up quite a bit with the coaches from practice, just as a guy that really seems to be emerging. What did you add to your game during the off season?
For me, really just just to get healthy and just to work on my body and get it to where I want it to be, as well as just be able to watch more tape and just work on just really the fundamentals and just working on my route running and my releases and and I think so far it's paid off.
Is it noticeable the kind of ball that Tristan throws versus the one that Jake threw a year ago? Is there any differences?
Not really. I mean, they both throw a nice ball, and all I'm worried about is running my route and getting open and catch it when it comes to me.
Kolby, we heard a lot of positive things about the offense in the scrimmage that y'all had. What did you kind of see from the receiver group as maybe a positive takeaway from that scrimmage?
Yeah, I think it was overall a really good group effort. I think everybody had a good amount of catches, so the ball was getting spread around, and kind of keeping the defense on its toes, not being able to target, just focusing on one guy. And when people's number was called, they were making plays.